Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I am going to show you one of my favorite sets in the holiday Stampin' Up! Catalog. It is the Sparkle of the Season set. And I don't know about you guys, but I do love wreaths. This wreath, this shape here is very similar to the Swirly Bird. I believe it was a Swirly Bird set, and then there was another set in the recent catalog that has a swirl like that too. But this has some great things to go along with it. It also has coordinating dies. We have one that's for fall with leaves. We have this one with stars. And we have this one that's more Christmassy with the evergreen sets, with the evergreen boughs. For Halloween, we've got a little broom, which is very cool. There are some bats that you can put around your wreath, or just use the bat for something else. You've got some pumpkins. We've got some ancillary holly leaves and some regular leaves, which I will show you how to use. So we will pull these two things out because those are the ones we're going to be working with. And I've already pulled out some of the stamps that we're going to be using, which is really only, I think, one at this point. And we're going to be mostly using dies. So I want to show you some of the cool things that you can do with this. We always think, cut it out in a green or a brown and do some extra things with it. I'm going to say the first card I did was probably one of the most challenging because I cut the die out in early espresso. And then what I did was I cut it also out in pumpkin pie, crushed curry, and poppy parade. So let me show you right here. I have a couple of them here. Oh, I've got a couple of them. I've got one in crushed curry, one in pumpkin pie, one in calypso coral. You can do it in any other colors. I don't have one that I did in pumpkin or poppy parade because I've already used that one. But then what I did was, because I didn't want brown leaves on it, when you cut it out, it comes out in the same color. Here I have one in soft suede right there. So as you can see, the leaves are soft suede as well. But I wanted to change the color of the leaves. So I took the thing, I matched it up as best I could with the existing one. So here I did. And then I kind of alternated the leaves. So I cut off, these leaves and put them there. And then I took a pumpkin pie and lined that one up. And then I, cut off the pumpkin pie. Oops, that's not the right way, this way. Cut off one of the pumpkin pies to put on one of the pumpkin pie things. So very, very labor-intensive way to do it. So let me show you an easier way to do it. Not that I would never do this again because it was fun. And then we have this other die here, which is leaves, and you can cut that out in different colors. And that's how I made the pile of leaves down at the bottom. So I used both of those dies. And then this die came from the Evergreen Christmas season stamp set. All right, so that's what I did for there. So I decided that I wanted to find another easier way to do it. So what I did was I cut it out in white. So this is in Whisper White, Basic White is a new white. And I colored it. And there's a couple different ways, like I showed you on a previous video of coloring. You can use the blends, or you can use your regular markers. I have done it using both ways, and it comes out pretty well. Here I did one. Gosh, the only thing is they get all tangled. let's see if I can do it. Here I did a crumb cake wreath, and then I took the blends and colored them in. Now, if you'll notice, it's not quite as vibrant as using the blends. Would be on white versus on the crumb cake, but we also know that the leaves do not stay bright forever, so I think this is kind of a cool look as well. So I just took my blends. We'll do it with the blends because it's a lot faster to do it. So I took my Poppy Parade, my pumpkin pie, and the crushed, well, it's not crushed curry, it's Daffodil Delight because we don't have blends in crushed curry, at least not yet. So I just took this, and I'm going to make a mess of my sheet here, but let me get another sheet underneath it so I don't make such a mess. And then I just colored over the leaves as such. And see how pretty they come out. You know, it looks just like if you had cut out the actual die. And then I kind of alternated around here, so I colored, you know, some more Poppy Parades, and maybe this one down here. And then this one over here. So I did that alternating to get my different colored leaves. But then I wanted to go back and do the actual wreath itself. So again, you can use this. I use soft suede for this, so you could either use the regular marker or you can use the blend. Either way works. And then just color in the wreath itself. I got quite a cool little wreath there. See, so you can see. Now when I color, I like to color without my contacts or glasses in because I can see much better. But so I would go back and get some of these white spots here. Back over it so they don't have it. Actually, I can actually see them today, but, you know, and then went back, you know, did my pumpkin pie. Maybe a pumpkin pie over here. But remember that you don't have to just do this for fall. You could also make a wreath for spring with this. So it's really an all-season set. And with spring, I did a couple of, I cut out a couple of different color green ones. So we have our Just Jade, which is one of the in colors. I think this one is Shaded Spruce. And you could layer these up together when you put them on a thing just to have different greens. And look how pretty that is. You know, or you could go with the darker ones. We've got a soft succulent and an early evening evergreen. You know, so that's another nice spring wreath that you could make. And again, you could also do it in white and color the green. So you could do different color greens with just one wreath if you want. Or as I said, here's one with crumb cake that I colored in with the blends. So that is that. Now also for your evergreens, you could also do your evergreens in a couple different greens. So here I have the evergreen one with Shaded Spruce and Just Jade. And then you can just kind of line them up this way, like that. And I'll show you what I did for a winter Christmas one. So I did this one with the Evening Evergreen and the Soft Succulent because those two colors go really well together. And then cut out some of the extra. There are leaves just in similar vein. If you remember when I showed you, we have these regular leaves. We also have the holly leaves. And then I just took some little embellishments to make a little bit of the holly. Took the real red ruche ribbon to make that. Use the Christmas paper that's in the main catalog year catalog, and the wood grain background. So that's what I did for Christmas. You also you could do these 2 color combinations. We got Old Olive and Mossy Meadow. I try and get it so it looks like a full wreath. So that's the Christmas version of the wreath. There are stamps and dies, so you can also cut out some of these as well. And I had a regular wreath somewhere here, but I don't know what I did with it. So you could make a wreath, I'll color this over, so just, you know, cutting out your different holly branches, maybe mix in some evergreens if you wanted to. Here it is on evergreen on evergreen paper, you know, so it's a great set to play with. I barely scratched the surface of it myself, but it's very fun. Okay, so I have this that I don't want to take up all your time by watching me color it. So I will show you. I have this one right here that I use the regular markers for. And as you can see, it's very, very close to the colors. So this is using the regular Stampin' Write markers like this. And then this uses the blends. So let's move that one out of the way. I'll show you what else I got here. So we're going to use this one and put together a card. Now I also want to show you, here is the cork paper that is in the holiday catalog as well. And it is really, really thin, but it has the texture of cork. And it just really is cool for especially the fall type things. So I thought that would make a really cool background. And I also cut out one of these in gold, the gold foil paper. Now, I'm also going to, before I forget, I want to show you, when you cut it out, I'll use the orange one right here, this is what you're left with. So what I do with this, because you don't want to waste that paper, is I just go back through and cut out the leaves. So then I get a bunch of leaves in the pumpkin pie, and I cut out the pumpkin wreath. So save your scraps because they're great for other uses. So I would probably put the gold behind it like this. And you just kind of want to play around with it to see where you want the leaves to line up. I kind of like that one right there. So I put that on there like that. But I also want to show you that when you're going to affix these do not have any of the sticky on the back of them. I'll have to glue these just with regular glue. But you can also take, and these come 6 by 12. These are Sizzix adhesive sheets. And so I cut, because for the wreath, it only takes up the width of here. And then you can have some extra spots here. But I should be able to get 2 wreaths on this thing. So I take the sticky, and I love the fact that now Stampin' Up! Has it in strips. So it's not the whole sheet, so you don't have to use all of it. So I'll take off that. And I cut this 4 by 6 because this is, 2 of these strips is 4, and then this is half of it, 6 by 12. So I just put it on there like that. And then I'll take this other one off as well. But I can do it in piecemeal so I don't accidentally stick it and don't get it on there straight. And then I just take a scissors and I'll cut. Let's do it this way so I can see through the paper. I'll just cut off the extra sheet, and I can use this for my next card that I'm going to make. We'll put that to the side. And then when I run this through, like this. I flip it over because the sticky's on the back. I run this through. And put it through here like this. Get the markers out of the way. And when you do this, you're making the paper extra thick. So I caution when you put it through the Big Shot, do it towards one of the edges, either this side or this side. Don't try and do it in the middle, because you're going to have more pounds pressure on either of the sides, and it'll cut it much easier for you. This I'll probably go through like 2 times, and then it pops out. I've had no problems with this at all. Oh goodness, where's my top? There it is. So then I just put it on and go through. And again, this is a white, and sorry for the rocking of the camera. Guess I need it more stable, so I just kind of go back and forth a couple times. And like I said, because it's a little bit thicker with the adhesive on the back of it, it needs an extra run through the Big Shot. Let's see. So here you have your white here. You've got this that you can use to stamp or cut out other things using, and it's got the sticky on it. So if you've got something that's really fine, this is a great piece of paper to use that for, because like I said, it's got the already sticky on it. And then I usually just take my pokey tool, which is hidden here. Just kind of poke out the extra pieces. Comes out pretty easy. Oh, look at that. Every piece came out. That almost never happens. How's that? And then, like I said, it's got the sticking on the back, so you just kind of take the edge of your scissors or a pokey tool, and watch, it's going to give me a hard time. I don't really want it to come off anyway because I don't have anything to stick it to. But, oh my gosh. Come on, Linda. Grab it. Oh my gosh. Well, sometimes if you find a thicker area, there we go. A thicker area, you just pull it off, and then you've got it to stick right on. And it just pulls right off, and it's sticky, so it'll stick right on. But we're not going to, like I said, do anything with it right now because I haven't colored it yet. I got to color it before I stick it on. Now, but if you haven't done that, like I haven't done that on these, so I'm going to take my silicone mat, and a couple options are you can use your glue pen and go around it. You can use this green glue. And I'm going to tell you, even with the fine stuff, you don't necessarily need to put it on everything. In some cases, I'll just put it on the back of the leaves, you know, or any like big areas here. There's an area right here that's a little bit wider, so I'll put a little dot there. Or you can put a little bit of the adhesive on there. Take your little sponge, but make sure you wash it after it's done, or your sponge will kind of freeze up on you. And put some of the glue on here like this. You just want to be careful you're not going underneath it, because you'll have glue on the top of it. So now it's nice and sticky. And I'll line it up on this one here. You could also use, pop up the leaves with the dimensionals if you want to. Now I've got this on it, and I'm going to need a little bit more glue. But for this, I might just put a little glue on the And here we're going to, because I've doubled it up, you're going to have areas that are a little bit wider. So it's easy to put the glue on. A couple different options for gluing up your, oh, here we got a big section. But remember, this glue dries sticky. So you just don't want to make sure, you want to make sure that if you do get stickies, you use your adhesive eraser to get any of the extra glue off the top part of it. And then we'll come back with our cork. Let's move this out of the way so I don't get any residual on there. We'll have a nice little wreath here for fall. With all the stickies on it. And then for a background, I took some gold foil, and I just kind of used my trimmer to cut out the center because I didn't want to waste all that in the middle, because I can use that gold paper for something else. And so I'll put it on there like that. And because we just have the edges there, I just want to go just along the edges. Unless I have paper that I've already stuck on underneath. Just put this on like this. And like I said, this paper, this cork is really thin, but it's so cool because it's just the effect of real cork. It'll be great with, I have the new grapevine set, you know, for people who have a bottle of wine. Go nice with that. And then I'll just probably put it on some soft suede for the background, which matches up with the soft suede that I used to color, because remember I colored this wreath. Let's make it a little bit finer. I find I use my bone folder much more than I ever used to, because I just like that extra crisp crease. And then we'll put this here. And I'm finding I'm liking using the glue too, because it's easy. And if I don't get it straight, I got a little bit of quick time that I can make it even. And I've spread this out because it doesn't have the extra layer. And a nice fall card. Now, if I want to do a grateful down here, I did pre-cut, like I said, one of the labels here, but do not use anything but a permanent ink like a StazOn, because it will smudge, and so you really want to use the StazOn. And so I'll take my grateful, and then I'll have to race to the kitchen to clean it off really well. And line up my grateful. It's moving, so let's hope I don't have smudges. And then I got it pretty centered. There's my grateful. And then I'll just, I kind of like the way it wrinkled like that. I think because it stuck to the paper, it just automatically wrinkled it. And then I'll take some dimensionals, because I do love my dimensionals, and pop this one up. This is nice and wide, so I can use the regular size dimensionals. I'll just put that on there, and I have a nice little fall card. And I'll probably do some more decorations on it, because I might take, for instance, one of the little pumpkins. I've already pre-cut out. See, these are some of the leaves that I went and cut out. So let's pour some of these out of here. So I have a little pumpkin. I could put a little pumpkin over here. Maybe on this side. I might have to cut out another pumpkin. But I don't want to do that. I could just put some of the leaves. Whoops, upside down. Put some of these pumpkin pie and bigger leaves down here, just to give it a little more. So there you have it. Now, let me show you a couple other things. Here's one I did. Here I put a pumpkin on the wreath and some twine and used the lighter shade wood from that, I can't think of what you call that paper. Texture? Let's see here. I have it right here. It's called In Good Taste. Never would have come out with that. Here's some of the different patterns in it, which I use quite a bit because I do tend to like the wood paper. This one I used some old champagne paper that I had. I think that's what it was behind there. Added, like I said, the pumpkin. Added some extra leaves. You could take some of your leaves and add them on here to be a little extra, just to kind of make it a little more colorful. Here's one I found online that I copied. Again, put the pumpkin and some leaves and more pumpkins on the wreath. Use the wood grain, 3D embossing power with the wood grain. Here I just kept some of the soft suede leaves and added crushed curry. And then here I pulled out one of my old sets that had a punch that went with it. This is last year's fall set. And so I just used brown on brown, and then again used embossing folder in the wood grain. So that's just a couple of samples of what to do. I hope that helps you when you're with your stamping, with how to glue and how to use this particular set. So I hope that helps. I have a hostess code, anybody who wants to order something for this month. And this is my website, which I put together. So thanks for joining me, and we will see you again. Thanks a lot. Bye.